think that, and this is, okay, let me just clarify, because we're not talking about people who don't know that they're the father, or they find out they're not the father. We're talking about true, you know, this is your child. You guys had a wonderful night. You produced a little mini me. And it belongs to both of you guys, whether you're divorced or it was you know, your partnership, not really married, or maybe just a slip up. This is your child, this is their child. What do you think the dilemma is? Why do you think that there's so much between co-parents?
Because the system rigged. Right? That's what the.
So you think it's the system? I think that they had beef before the system. You don't think?
Well, yeah, that too.
Do you think the system? Okay, so that's a good question, though, Marcus. Do you think the system started the beef, or do you think the beef started before the system?
Before the system. When you get two adults that don't know like conflict resolution, or one adult that can't maintain the situation and create a conflict resolution situation, you're just gonna have nonstop escalation. And then when people have their emotions tied up, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. You go over and beyond to prove your point. Then you be arguing to the point where you're not even arguing about the initial issue. You're just arguing to argue because you're just trying to prove who's right. And if can't nobody step back and be like, you know what, this is silly, I'm not doing this, y'all gonna end up burning each other's car down, putting them on child support, lying about he abused the kid, all type of stuff people be doing when they be fighting. It's crazy. I thought about some examples of stuff people told me happened to them when I just said that. Somebody definitely got their car burnt up. Somebody definitely got a fake case put on them. One dude, he stood up at the altar, so she then married a new guy and moved to a new state. Didn't tell him, and he.
Wait. Meaning she was standing at the altar and he just did not come?
Well, they sent the wedding invitations out, and like a couple weeks before the wedding, he was like, "You know what? I'm too young for this."
There was a special place in hell for him. I'm just like, oh my God, that is the worst.
She put him through
public humiliation. That is the worst. Okay, but so you're saying that there's drama after the kid comes along?
Probably before the kid, because you also got to add in the people who didn't want to have a kid, and she decided to make a unilateral decision and have a child without the permission of both people and force him into that scenario. I think that'd be the worst, because then they be stuck in the thing. I didn't want this baby, and I love this baby, and it's all your fault. Like,
what do you mean a unilateral decision? Two people made a decision at the very beginning to decide on how things were going to go. So what do you mean she made a unilateral decision? I need to understand that a little bit better.
Well, if they didn't use my method of keeping a condom, she could have took the condom and then reinserted it in herself later. She could have lied and said she was on birth control. She could have took $300. I've heard of this happening. Taking $300 from somebody, saying you're gonna go get a deletion, a baby deletion, and then not doing it. That's not a unilateral decision.
Well, you know that last one is kind of funny. But the other one.
Why is that one?
Listen, do you
wait, back up. Why is that one funny?
Because I mean, if he gives her $300 and she decides to have a kid, it's going to cost that much just to go to the doctor. So the money is going to be used. Okay, but what I'm saying, so let's go back to the tactics though. What AP is saying in the initial phase, I think you hit on it, but in the initial phase of you guys enjoying each other's company, at that point, run that by us again. The things that women do. Just curious.
No, the things. I'm not saying all women do this. I'm saying the people who be fighting the most, they be having backstories like superhero villains, and it'd be a whole thing as to why they into it. Like, we discussed this. We knew it was just sex. She said she didn't want a baby. She got pregnant and then didn't take the plan B. Then didn't took the $300 to get rid of the baby. Didn't get rid of the baby, and then popped up talking about, I be hearing stories like this. I'm only hearing one side, but I definitely have heard these stories. I don't got
the men gonna hate me in the chat today.
Oh, AP.
Should we choose better then? Is that on us?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm. I think he's talking
choose better.
Can you change my name to Simp Derek Jackson so I
Derek
Simp?
No, I'm serious. So why are we randomly poking? Why are we poking down random women? Like, what are we? Is it like I'm So out of all of these YouTube talking points, my biggest sticking point is I understand women control the access to sex, but we still got to control what we like if we do it. So why are we just busting down random ass chicks? Like what are we doing? Isn't that on us? Can we kind of choose that?
It
So
seems
I
to
have
me
a
some people
question.
can choose.
So I have a follow-up question to your question, AP. If it was really a choice, would it then no longer be in your nature? Like if the talking point is that it's in a man's nature to just be knocking down women, like, you know, it's going out of fashion, then is it really a choice? Because I think that's really where
I think
If a dude,
condom is a choice, though.
So
To
the
do
reason
it,
why I say, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm
Hold
sorry.
it
I
up.
think to do it, so to be responsible. So we're not saying, okay, if you live your life, but it's a way to be responsible. You guys, if you've been on this show, you know me. I feel like you should be responsible for you, which means that if you know in your heart that you are the one who does not want a kid, whether it be the female or the man, it is your responsibility to protect yourself. That's how I teach my son. Do not rely on her to protect you. You have to protect yourself because you don't want a kid. She can change her mind. She can lie, you know, just like you don't trust her with your wallet. Don't trust her with your seed, you know? So
Right.
you have the liberty to put a condom on. And why would you want your penis inside everybody's body? Let me just tell you, all vaginas are not the same. You do not want
You
that
ain't got to
life.
tell us that.
So
No,
why are you should think highly of yourself to not even want to put yourself inside just any and everybody without putting
I got a question then. I got a question because when you said when a man and a woman kind of they like each other, they're dating, and
Okay.
yeah, and then then the woman gets pregnant. But
I
most
didn't
of the
say
time,
that. Okay.
no, oh, I thought that was what you were initially. That was what you were saying. You
No,
were
I
giving.
was
Oh,
just
okay.
saying if that happens, if you guys are in, you know, whatever happened, I was just giving out scenarios. But no,
Okay, then with your scenario right now, what if the man was protecting himself, but still something happened because there's always that 1%? Then what would the man do? Because clearly the man didn't want the kid, and then that happens. Then what?
so for me, this is what I teach my son because you're right, that can happen. And I don't want him to have any slip ups. So I say, listen, there are so many places that you can do that outside of the body. You don't have to do it inside the body. So protect yourself. Now,
That's not really practical, though.
Wait, you know how much practice he needs to be able to control his semen?
And pulling out is not work.
you know,
It's not that easy. You gotta AP. You
I
act
don't
like
know.
That's
to
Never
gain
been
the
made.
skills to be able to do
It's
that,
not
you're
that
gonna need a lot
practical.
of bodies or a lot of stuff.
Well, it's people who don't have
So-
it's people who don't have those situations. So it's people who are out here doing it.
But I'm
They're out here
asking,
doing it.
what happens
Playing
when
with
that
fire.
happens?
They're out here doing it.
I mean, and for the record, I'm team use a condom, take it with you. Well, fill it up with water, make sure it's not leaking, and then take it with you. So this
You're going in and
is
out.
my personal experience. I don't want to argue this point, and I'm sitting there putting the screen like, see, this is Sisterhood. I'm
What's
speaking
sisterhood?
for that.
See, that's God. He
Person
stopped
right now.
you from saying whatever BS.
okay, so
What's
so
the
I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
wanna know
answer.
what the sisterhood is. He just came off the pause. What's the sisterhood?
I wanna
It's,
I wanna answer.
you gotta ask the person I'm speaking for. I'm speaking for the people who think like that, and that's been they understand it. Can somebody put a definition of the sisterhood in the chat? Because I don't want to butcher.
Well,
the
I think
sisterhood.
that women and men should protect themselves. I'm not taking the responsibility off the women because why would you just want anything up in you? First of all, I'm saying it for both men and women. It just seems to be that a lot of times men get themselves in situations, not if you're married and you got a divorce or you try to do everything right. I'm talking about if you know that you are a sexual creature and you got to have it every night, and sometimes it ain't with the same chick, you got to protect yourself. You should practice protecting yourself.
I always preach that, but we talking about how people got in the situation they in, because the context of this conversation is child support. So these babies came, and I'm giving scenarios that they could have came in, no pun intended, that created this tumultuous situation that these kids is going through, or that the two parents is going through.